Welcome everyone to another episode. This one is special, by the way, from the Ignition podcast, where your dreams, business ideas, and year's end checklists ignite. I'm Lucas Stanik.
And I'm Eduardo.
And dude, we have a lot of things. What a time to live in, let me tell you. What a time to live in.
Yeah, it was a year, right?
What a year, dude. I felt like it was a roller coaster in every single aspect of my life. Like, as a worker, a content creator, we got a lot of things to talk about AI today, business ideas, and this roller coaster, like from geopolitical AI to a lot of revolutionary AI, like generative models. And dude, there's a lot to talk about, let me tell you.
That is a lot. Personally, for everyone, I think, everyone I know had a big change in this year. For business, that was a lot of movement, a lot of new creative things to do, to know a new market. AI is developing, computer is developing, graphic card are developing, like we are moving in a breakneck speed.
Right, and I don't know about you, but I'm naturally a very reflexive person, right? Like, dude, some days I'll just lock in, look somewhere in the sky and reflect on my choices. And with the year, ending, I think there's no better way than to look back, see your hits, see your mistakes, and calculate your next steps for the upcoming year. So that's pretty much what we're doing today, right? We're passing month over month, that's gonna be it.
Let's see what happened to try to see what's gonna happen, right? We watch history.
There you go.
To settle our future.
That was deep. All right. and right. So to start the first topic, I'm gonna ask you that because I think you're into movies, right? We talked about it once. I think you're really into movies, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Filmmaker.
Let me ask you. Okay, interesting. Let me ask you something. Are you into horror movies?
Ooh, that is a topic. I like horror movies. I was more into horror movies when I was younger. Nowadays, I think, Nowadays, I like the general topic, but I think it's a little bit overdone.
Right. I feel the same. Like when I was younger, I was really into everything, like with horror. I'm talking about demons and that kind of stuff, paranormal kind of movies, everything. And I would watch it fearless, sleep like a baby. These days, as I'm getting older, not really good for my dreams. I don't know. I think I'm getting. That's the thing. But despite not, really appreciating, back in the day, you might be familiar with this horror movie called The Forest from 2016.
Natalie, right?
You're familiar with that one? Yeah, it has Natalie Dormer. Exactly.
Dormer, yes.
And it cashed. There you go. And it cashed in about $41 million globally. So we're talking about a huge movie here, right?
It was a hit, right?
It was a hit. Did you like that one, by the way?
I like the suspense. It was okay. It was not very horror, but it was a good suspense movie for me.
Fair enough. Yeah. So the director is this guy's Jason Zara, and let me tell you, this veteran filmmaker from Hollywood changed his mind about how producing movies. You know why?
Why?
Because that dude started his own AI film studio.
Ooh, AI film studio, like doing movies using exclusively
with AI.
Or using AI overall?
No, using AI overall. The name is Secret Level of this company, and he was the dude behind this nearly 2-minute short movie called The Heist. I don't know if you heard about it. It really have gone viral back in January this year, and it was all made with AI. It went viral on the social media, it went viral everywhere. And it was like,
wow, I don't remember if I saw it.
And it's about this it's a kind of robbery, we got a lot of action, a lot of
by the name I could imply.
It
was a movie about a heist.
No, actually you're wrong. It's about a priest. I'm just kidding. And I think Hollywood is paying a lot of attention to that, and it should, because we're talking about back in the day, you would have to have a gigantic, this huge budget, Hollywood level budget, to have to record a movie in the first place, to hire the actors, right? The professional, the filmmakers, we're talking about visual effects.
Big cash.
Yeah, exactly. You would have to, have this big budget to do that. Nowadays, with AI, you can leverage AI to, basically record and edit a film from scratch. And we're not talking about poor quality. We just talked about The Heist. It's a very popular one. It went really viral, and it's amazing. I mean, honestly, I saw a little bit of that movie, and I wouldn't tell it was AI. it really got me surprisingly, caught me off guard, really. And so basically, you're not limited
I'm
anymore.
taking a look right now. It's like a big producer film, it's very good. It's actually very good.
Right. And so we might be seeing, dude, basically a whole shift in a billionaire industry, which is filmmaking. AI tools like VO3, Sora, we'll talk about those, by the way, in a bit. They're giving every creative mind in the whole world the tools they need to basically turn their ideas into reality, into movies, and high-quality movies, by the way, more and more.
Yeah, I have some opinions about this.
Exactly. I was gonna ask you, like, man, being a movie guy, and I know you're really into it, I want to know your thoughts on it. Please, go ahead.
So, my opinion on this is, even though it is a great piece of exposure and trial and error and like a first show off the product for AI filmmaking studio, I don't think it's gonna be the main tool of generating movies, because it is a great tool to generate what we call storyboarding. It's good for storyboarding because you get the first idea, you get the whole point of the movie, and then you can translate this in images, and then you get it to begin actually filmmaking, because you don't have the ability of changing camera angles so easily, even though we can do some things like that with Nano Banana, for example. But
it takes a lot of prompting, though.
Yeah, if you want to do something perfect, like exactly as it is in your mind, you have to go and do it. The AI is going to be a great tool to get the first images, to get the idea out of the paper, to begin production. So for example, I have a great example of use in movies. The movie that was in the Oscars last year called The Brutalist?
Dude, I don't. Sorry, my bad.
The Brutalist was a great movie, but the big thing about it is that in like 2 seconds of the movie, they used AI to change the speech of the main actor, because he didn't talk like Hungarian. But his speech, like his tones, the way he was speaking was not perfect. Then they use AI to correct his speech. Like it was an AI dubber over his main line to correct the way of speaking. Because the AI was speaking better than the human, the native language, the Hungarian. That is a hard language to speak. So I think AI as a tool of correction, of manipulation, of
support.
Accentuation, like it's a support. It's a support tool. It's gonna be amazing for
makes a lot of sense. Also visual effects, right?
VFX, VFX is gonna be great for VFX, like automation of VFX and post-production is what takes the most time in a movie production, more than acting, more than filming, more than going to the place, putting the camera and director, that chaos we see in the making of. This is not what takes the most time. What takes the most time is CGI, computer graphics, post-production, and everything that goes in making the movie looks like the movie, And AI is gonna automate all of that for us. Like do a lot of things like change of light, or putting, I don't know, some rain effects. You can do that with AI like super easy.
Yeah, and it's crazy. How
it's gonna save a lot of time of production.
But let me tell you something, man. A lot of global stars came out in public, sharing their opinions as well. Let me share with you. We got Emily Blunt. Now, Emily Blunt is widely known for a lot of roles, and basically, when they shown her an AI actress, here's what she said. Really, really scared. She was really, really scared. And she urged agencies to, quote, please stop taking away our human connection. And she's not alone, by the way. Jenna Ortega, the famous Wednesday from the Netflix show, right? She basically say that AI content could become mental junk, and argue that a computer has no soul, and therefore is incapable of basically doing the small mistakes that humans appreciate. And last but not least, we had Morgan Freeman. And I thought this one was really funny, by the way. He basically said that he did not show a lot of appreciation, right? When generative AI started mimicking his voice without his consent. He went, quote, I get paid for doing stuff like that. End of quote. Fair enough, in my opinion. Fair enough,
yes.
And that is another issue, by the way, copyright. With AI, with generative AI and copyright,
this is still a gray area for the movies industry. Like all the Creative Commons and when to use, how to use, and all the rights of voice, rights of images.
Right.
It is
right.
still a gray area. Yeah.
There is this actor though. Do you like the Batman? We're talking about the Batman from the Christopher Nolan.
Nolan, of course, of course.
Masterpiece, in my opinion. Masterpiece. Now,
Yes. Yes.
how's the name of him? I forgot his name. How can I? Oh my
Alfred.
god. Alfred. So
Alfred is
actor who
the
played that-
character. Yes.
Yeah, the character, not the actor. Unfortunately, I don't know his name, but yeah, basically the actor, amazing one by the way, who played Alfred on that on those films, on those movies, he basically supported AI in filmmaking. But you know,
Yeah.
he
It depends on the use.
supported AI.
If you go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
to a movie and a full scene like a cave entrance and someone walking and this is AI, I think this is not the correct use of the tool, like to generate a full
Right.
scene from the scratch with AI, because you have no control. It has its own color identity, like it sometimes have a lot of specular and little shines that you know is AI, and it's not gonna match
Right.
the rest of the movie color profile.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
that is a problem.
it gives you more like reshaping than actually the final product. But I think this is a long road we have to still build. But I do believe, yeah, and I heard a lot of people in the internet talking about this, like AI enthusiasts and AI engineers. They were basically saying specifically about filmmaking. Now check this out. They were saying that the future is basically like when you're talking about movies, you're gonna for example, let's just say you get into Netflix, okay? You get into Netflix and you basically say what you want to watch. And if there's no movie,
Yes.
it would just create a movie for you, like on demand with AI. How crazy would that be?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is some Black Mirror stuff we were talking
This
about.
is yeah, right? But
Yeah.
we're talking about AI filmmaking, AI movies, and content creation, and we cannot. Now let's move to February. We cannot let it sleep. Sora. Sora really revolutionized
Yeah.
the industry, and it was one of the main launches of the year by OpenAI. And
Yes.
when it came out public, people were all crazy talking about how realistic it was. And we're not even talking about like the Sora 2, by the way. It's just Sora, the first version.
Sora,
And
yes.
right, and it's basically a text to video generative tool. When it came out in UK, it really made a mess. People were all talking about copyright, exactly
Yeah.
what we were just talking about.
Yes.
But yeah, since then it evolved a lot. Evolved like really.
Right
crazy
now
how
I'm
fast it is.
starting to see. You know how I know that a tool like this entered the general zeitgeist? When my family starts sending me small videos as good morning in the family group using
Right.
this kind of stuff. So in a couple of months ago, it started the trend of using AI generated videos to try to communicate with the family, like good morning or good coffee and things like that. And now they are sending videos like that use it to be like a photo of the family or a photo of something random or a photo of a coffee from my stock library. Now it's an AI generated video.
Crazy.
Like,
and
how crazy is that? Everyone is using, even
Yeah.
your aunt, your grandma using this to generate a video
crazy.
to give you good morning.
However, it is also risky, but because man, we live in a world of disinformation, of misinformation, right?
Yes.
And we got a lot of conflicts worldwide. He's a curiosity. There's this book from Mihai Pasepa. I think that's his name. I think he was Romanian at the time. We're talking about back in the day when Soviet Union was still a thing, and he was working for the Soviet Union. And he was one of the dudes that were like working closely to the ones responsible for misinformation. Now, back in the time, they would control information and the narrative, with basically government propaganda, right? And and books and stuff. They didn't have AI at the time. Now, can you imagine?
And it was
the things
like
they're doing right now?
expensive, right? To control this kind of stuff and
It
generate
was.
like something that is not real. And it was a lot of
Exactly.
work. A lot of work.
Exactly. Now, today with the internet, it's a little difficult to, control everyone. But still, I think it's a two sides kind of blade. Because at the same time that you have access to more information in a more democratic way, it is way easier to spread lies and false videos, right? And so we're talking about Sora 2, a lot of AI generative tools as well. But on the other hand, we're getting back to the family subject now. I got a lot of fake videos, a lot of them, that my family wouldn't tell was AI generated. You know, they wouldn't.
But you know, I
So-
think at the same time, the ability of people of telling when it's not AI and when it's AI, it's gonna grow because now more people
Right.
are getting exposed to what is an AI video. You know, for us, we
Yeah.
work with AI. We know what is AI, like the mannerisms, the things that they always do, and how
Yeah.
to see like a squirrel appearing out of nowhere. So we already know what to look for. Most people don't. So they believe
Right.
in the first video they see. But now everyone's getting more exposed to AI videos like every day for
Yeah.
the good morning videos. Now they will know when it's AI. And
Yeah, yeah.
in a couple of, I don't know, months, maybe a year, it's going to be a choice if you choose to believe.
To
Or not.
believe in that.
I
At the
choose to
same
believe.
time. But at the same time, it is getting way too realistic to a point that I
Yeah.
think very shortly, not even us, you know, we won't be able to tell if it's AI or not. Not even us. And
Starting
we're
to be
working
a,
on
a double-edged sword, right? Some tools
Right.
are getting too good.
Too
Yeah.
good. Yeah. And that's the thing. But still, I think it's, you know, it's in the end of the day, AI is a tool. The way people use it should be like, they should be responsible for that, you know, if it's for good, if it's for bad. Anyways, we're talking about a lot of examples here of good usage of AI.
Of course.
But yeah, it's just a tool. And moving to March, talking on AI, we have the Gemini 3.5 release. Now, before Gemini, we had ChatGPT, which, as we talked in the last episode, was really revolutionary. But it was I don't know, I had this feeling that it was like the only one, you know, playing around. People really got to know that, and there were not too many competitive AIs like that, like capable as OpenAI's tool was. Now, Gemini really switched the cards, really flipped the table, in my opinion. And as we were talking about recently, Gemini was also one of the most researched keywords, you know, in this throughout this year. So tells you a lot.
You know what? There is this say in marketing: the first is better than the best. That's why we
Makes
used
a lot
to
of sense.
use ChatGPT. That's why most
Right.
people like Coca-Cola, because it was the first
Yeah.
big brand of commercial soft drinks. So
Absolutely.
why do we use ChatGPT? Is it because it actually is the best one?
Is better, right?
Is it better? Actually better? The thing
Not
is,
necessarily.
me personally, I don't know, because
Mhm.
you know, DeepSeek and Gemini are very good today. I think
They are.
actually Gemini is at the same level as ChatGPT nowadays, because Gemini has a point that the other brands
Uh-huh.
doesn't have. That only DeepSeek had. That is curiosity. Because when you say Gemini, it is the ChatGPT from Google. ChatGPT came out of nowhere. You didn't know the company. You didn't know OpenAI.
Okay,
So
you
it
got
was
a
the
point
first.
there.
Then you got to know the first that was good. And then came Gemini. Gemini is the ChatGPT from Google, and people already trust Google. That's the thing. That's
Google.
the curiosity.
And also the access, the big data that Google has. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that's matchable. I don't think you can match that. You know.
Yeah, of course, and the reach of Google. Like your phone, most people's phone that uses
Yeah.
Android, you already have Gemini integrated in everything. You search anything on Google, it's Gemini giving you the answer, you know?
We were talking like, I don't know about Gemini if it's better than ChatGPT. In my humble opinion, it is. It is for a lot of things, not every kind of aspect, but dude, Nano Banana, it's really been a thing for me, man.
It is insane.
You can't. It is. You can't even compare with ChatGPT currently, right? ChatGPT's capability of image creation. You just can't. You just can't. I'm using it for a lot of thumbnails, you know, creative tasks, and it's just way better in that aspect. Now, if I'm talking about scripting and some ideas and textual, textual ideas in general, I'm using ChatGPT. Not necessarily because it's better, just because I'm way more used to that.
We are more used
and I got a lot of data there.
We are used to that.
You know, it's what you were saying. Basically that, yeah.
Yeah, it only just because ChatGPT was the first. If
Was the
Gemini
first.
had been the first, we would be using Gemini and there would
Gemini.
be no competition because Google just dominates the
Absolutely.
market.
Yeah,
It will
that's
be
true, that's
less
true.
competition than the ChatGPT nowadays because Google dominates everything it touches.
Absolutely, absolutely. And moving on from Gemini 2.5, we gotta talk about Llama Meta AI, which is basically the AI that got released by Meta, one of the hugest, big techs in the world. And
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about next, don't you? Because I love this
Yes.
subject, I think I do notice
We
this.
talk about Meta this year. What we're talking about? We're talking
Smart
about
glasses.
the glasses. Yes, of course.
Okay, I mean, man, the amount of money that that Mark Zuckerberg, the Meta, is putting in the smart glasses, it's insane. We're talking about a lot of money being tossed into the trash for the moment being. But Mark Zuckerberg is convinced that within the next decade, smart glasses will be the new smartphones. I don't know if the next decade or like the next decades, like 30, 20
Next
years.
generation, maybe.
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. We talked about those smart glasses. I talked about it with Daniel. And Daniel say like, yeah, I'm really curious. It's a nice product, but there's a lot to be done yet.
Yeah,
So he
it's
was
a proof
a
of
little
concept.
skeptic.
Still, it's a proof
Yeah.
of concept.
I agree. But at the same time, I don't know about you, man, but on my Instagram, at least, I'm seeing a lot of videos being captured with smart glasses. A lot, like
For real?
all around the world. People are getting used. Yeah. Because,
You know what? I see people getting content from cameras in helmets from motorcycles or things like that. I think the content is gonna be like similar, very similar.
Yeah, but when it's generated with smart glasses, you're gonna see that the information is displayed because as it is a Meta product, obviously it is optimized for Instagram, right? Which is also owned by Meta. So wait,
Yeah.
I'm not crazy, right? Meta owns Instagram, right? I'm not crazy.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is a
Okay.
Facebook product.
For a moment, I doubt myself.
No.
Cut that part,
It is Meta.
please.
It is
Cut
Meta.
that part. Okay. So as it's owned by
Instagram,
Meta, you're
WhatsApp,
gonna see that.
Facebook, all Meta.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know about you. I'm actually very optimistic about Meta glasses in the next years. I'm pretty confident that in the upcoming 5 to 10 years at max, a lot of people will have it. Like just like smartphones. When Apple came around back in the day, showing the first iPhone, everyone was shocked, but it was not that accessible.
Camera right here. I already use glasses, so
Yeah. You see? What, man? Augmented reality, it's gonna be the thing. It's gonna blast everywhere. I really think people will get. It's just like you say with generative tools, AI tools. It is gonna be way more like part of daily lives. People will get used to it, and it's a very disruptive technology right now, still. But it will become common. And that's let me just point out a curiosity here. Do you know we're already cyborgs? Did you know that?
We are.
We are. Man, think about it. We're using Bluetooth devices to improve our human capabilities. We're using smart glasses with augmented reality. We're using smart watches. We're using a lot of things that in the
I think
concept.
even glasses are already augmented reality. Like I don't see
Kinda.
well when I'm out of glasses. Now I see
Right.
correct again. This is already.
Yeah, we already fit the concept of cyborg. It's like we're living in some kind of cyberpunk universe already, and that's just the beginning, right? By the way, I don't know if you knew that, but Meta is working on basically through the Meta glasses. When you're in an outdoor environment and there's a lot of people talking, I don't know about you, I got a very hard time trying to focus on one person talking to me, right?
I have ADHD. I can't say it. I have ADHD, so it is hard
Right.
for me to.
So you're gonna like this
I
one.
know
You're gonna like this
exactly
one.
how it is.
So you're gonna like this one, man. Meta is developing the next generation of glasses to basically be able to help you focus on that person in front of you talking to you, man. Isn't that wild? And
Yeah.
we're cyborgs.
Oh,
we're
I
cyborgs,
saw
man.
I saw this in a headphone, like a headphone that you
In a
could
headphone.
focus in a point, and the headphone it isolated all the noise to just that one single point. I don't
Alright.
remember which product it was. It was like a proof of concept, like the Meta glasses.
Sure.
But the main idea of the headphone was like it could use AI again AI, to
Sure,
understand
sure.
where were each noise coming from and isolate
Mhm.
everything. So if you wanted to talk to someone in front of you,
Crazy.
it would identify what you
source of the
wanted to
sound?
talk, the source of sound,
Uh-huh.
and then isolate it from the others and just like heighten the volume
That's
of that
wild.
single person.
That's
Or
wild, man.
if
That's
you're
wild.
in a group, it separates the group from the white noise of the background.
Right. Now, here's
I don't know how it
now,
is
here-
right now. If it's out, I want
Uh-huh.
that, please, for tomorrow, my table.
yeah, yeah. Actually,
I have to see
you know,
how
Meta-
this is going.
yeah, Meta is basically dropping the prices, man. I wanted to buy a Meta glass, even from Gen 1, from Generation 1. Okay, currently they have Generation 2. It's amazing. Man, I wanted to buy myself a Generation 1. It was being sold like for, I don't know, around $190 to $216. It wasn't that expensive. Okay, we're talking about dollars/euro. It's pretty much about the same thing. But when I got to the checkout, guess what? It is not supported in Portugal. You know, where I'm spending the time, right? Yeah, well, I'm spending some time here, and it is not supported here, so I just couldn't buy it. Yeah, I have to buy it in Brazil, I guess. But anyways, just curiosity. Please, Meta, change that. And yeah,
What would you use the augmented reality for? Like, what would you like to
a lot of
augment?
things. A lot, man. Listen to music. I mean, I know you can use earphones, but it's very convenient that you can just listen. With the glasses, I would use it to record videos and take pictures. I would use it to video calls with my parents, with my friends, all around. But yeah, basically for video content creation, I guess, because I don't know.
Yeah, it's our life. What do you want us to do? Like,
right.
It's our job.
But let me tell you, man. There are a lot of cops in China already using it for like
Cops?
I don't know. They can basically they look at the subject and they know. I might be mistaken, but as far as I know, they are already using it. For example, they look at a car's a car's plate, for example.
Yeah.
And
License
and they
plate.
can like pull data from the database, from the police station database, and know like if that owner is on debt, if he's a criminal, if he has something. Dude, it's crazy.
All the criminal
right?
background of the person just looking at them, and then
Just
you click
looking-
like, is he okay? Is he okay? Is he okay?
Right? Basically. Now, it's both scary and genius. Scary because, in a way, you're not that free, in the sense that you.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it is great for
You are
security.
free to commit a crime. I'm free to
Yeah.
get you arrested.
I know. It's a very complex subject, man. Honestly,
Yes.
I think.
Because like some things are a crime that shouldn't, like small parking tickets or things like that, and then you go to jail for not paying, I don't know, 2 days
Yeah,
late
but-
for the parking ticket.
Yeah, but I think the rabbit hole is even deeper. Like, if you have a very decent and good government, great. What if a tyrannic government, takes in? So they're going to use that same technology to persecute you. If you don't like the government, if you speak things about president, that's the danger. I think that's where the danger is. Yeah. What about you, man?
It could be. It's like a knife. It's just like a knife.
Exactly. Yeah. Double-edged
It's
knife.
always the knife analogy. A knife is a
It's
very
always,
good tool, but it can be used for very, very bad things. I
You
think.
can cut a cheese like with that knife,
You can cut a
or
cheese.
you can commit a crime.
Yeah.
Exactly. Agree. But what about you, man? Like, what would you use augmented reality to?
I think I am a video game guy.
Same thing.
Video game,
Okay.
video games, and work. We work with
Yeah.
video. I would do videos
Yeah.
and video games, and what I think I'd use it. What I'd use the most, it would be to gossip with my wife. Like the most
I wasn't
use
expecting
out of
that.
the meta glasses would be gossip. Like, have you seen that? And then I clip it immediately, because sometimes you want her to see something that happened that only you saw, and then she looked
Right,
and it
right.
already passed. But if I have meta glasses,
It's
I can
fast.
show her what I just saw.
Yeah. Yeah,
Gossiping
and it's way
would
more
be
convenient.
amazing with meta glasses.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, and it's way more convenient. You just, you can even talk to the glasses, and you can start recording. It's
Yeah,
So convenient,
recording, or maybe if it has a technology like, I don't know, the streaming services that let you
It has,
roll
it
back
has, yeah.
2 minutes, for example, to get the image you just saw.
oh, that I don't know. That I don't
You
know.
know, because you don't. Maybe you want to see something, and then you are too late to press record.
Yeah.
But if it's always on, and then it has a temp file that
Kind of
is
risky though.
always recording for like 2 minutes, and then you roll back, you know.
It makes a
No,
lot
it
of
is
sense.
risky, but
But-
the storage system can't be too big because it's small, it's in your face. So it has
yeah,
like
yeah.
a 2 minute temp file that you can roll back, but it's always
okay.
being overwritten.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Then it's not so dangerous, and it's feasible for the
Right.
size of the thing.
Yeah, by the way, I think that's why it's not. I'm not sure, but I think that's the reason behind Meta Glasses not being supported in Portugal. I think it's because how Portugal sees it, like because of the privacy, law, local law, like they angle
Yeah,
this.
local laws, yes.
I think that's the reason. Not really Meta, but if you Meta want to give us smart glasses, you're more than welcome.
Please
Anyway.
we'll test it and say positive things, I guess.
Exactly. But moving on to May, we gotta talk about
What
the
happened
elephant
in
in the
May?
room.
What happened
in May?
in
We got VO3 released.
the big boy?
The big boy in the room. Now, VO3, I mean, Sora 2 is amazing, don't get me wrong, but VO3 is another
It's
level.
what popularized. Yes, because
It is.
it's the Will Smith eating pasta meme.
Exactly. We got to Will Smith, 360p eating spaghetti, crazy thing like a monster, yeah, right? And to Will Smith, like 4K, eating spaghetti in a fancy restaurant in Italy. Crazy. And all that happened in, I don't know, a time frame of maybe 5 years, 4 years.
Yeah,
it was
from
wild.
nothing to that. No, Will Smith eating
Right.
pasta very bad. It was like 2-3 years ago. It's not that much.
Not even 5 years.
Yeah, not
That's
even
amazing.
5 years.
So Edu, basically, as we talked before, I think your angle on this is basically, to sum up, Sora walked so that VO3 could run. Is that right?
Yes, exactly that. Because VO3 is the popularized part of the generative AI. What I was talking before, like my grandma sending good morning stuff. She's using
Right.
it because Sora showed you could, but she can do it on VO3. That's what people
Yeah.
use to generate the stuff. So the big thing about VO3 is the popularization of the tool. Even though Sora was there, like for people to know the concept and that it works. The one that generate the videos of people like, hey, I'm here, I don't know, and saying a lot of
Right.
stuff is from VO3. So
And VO3 also brought with it more control, like over building the scenes, camera controls, which is very difficult with those tools. Like sometimes you're gonna struggle a lot to make it continuously, right? Like you got it
and
from
the
from
big
a
part
certain
also-
angle.
the big
Yeah,
part
go ahead.
also is that Sora is, you have to be very specific in what you want. With VO,
Right.
you can do very small prompts and it already generates something good. It's always, even though you say like generate coffee, and then it's gonna do something, it's gonna interpret and try to do something that is aligned with the standard that people do, and you're gonna get a great video. Maybe someone drinking a coffee, or just a cup of coffee in a table with a camera, very cinematic, coming from an angle or a Dutch angle or something very specific like that. So I think the big difference is how VO can generate something very good out of the box, like with just one word, like coffee.
Right. It's way simpler, and it's getting more and more simple because a lot of those tools, even though like they made it a lot easier to create like high level cinematic movies, right, or videos in general, but still most of them require some level of knowledge, right? Like prompting. I see that word popping out a lot.
Yeah.
Prompt engineering, because you gotta be really good on describing things
I've
to
seen
make
some
them good,
courses
right?
on prompting, exclusively on prompting.
Yeah, it's crazy how important it's getting. And however, tools like VO3 and other, we're going to talk about another one real like soon. They're making it way easier to people to actually create them. Just like, I don't know, they tweet, right? Or they X. I don't know how people say that nowadays, right? We're from the times of Twitter now.
I don't know.
Yeah, X. X. Like, anyway, you know, as quick as you tweet, you're gonna be able to create high-level AI-generated, not movies, but short videos. I think that's
Yeah,
a reality. But we'll get there.
Yes.
Now, I'm gonna bring to the table a very interesting and polemic subject. You ready?
What? Let's go.
Now, on 1993, the US government came out with this project called Stargate Project. Ever heard of it?
I heard of it. I don't know what it's about. I've heard people talking about it, but like never.
Now-
It was like this.
Uh-huh. This is Stranger Things kind of level, okay, we're diving into. So, Stargate was a military program, basically focused on investigating paranormal or parapsychological phenomenon. Yeah, exactly. However, we jump like some decades ahead, and we got OpenAI announcing, with a bunch of other US-based companies, a new Stargate program, okay, which basically is a 4 years project with costing $500 billion to develop a new AI infrastructure to the US. Yeah, and that's the start of the geopolitical Cold War based on AI we're seeing between China and the US. Now, how crazy is that? Is that just conspirational theory here, or conspiracy?
I hear a lot of conspirational talk when I when I hear about Stargate project. Like,
But man, it's
What is
kind of impossible not to relate those, right? I mean, it's crazy.
it is crazy. What do you mean? What is this?
Yeah, and
Come on, explain to me. Like, I don't know anything about AI. What is this? What is this for? Like, what do
Right.
OpenAI want with it? I have no idea.
dude, we're gonna get like some of the companies inside of this Stargate project. We're talking about OpenAI, of course, but we're also talking about NVIDIA, right? Oracle, Microsoft. So a lot of big techs are joining together, so the US can get the advantage in this Cold War based on AI, on chips. Thing is getting
I think the
it's going
thing
south real
is
quick.
China has a lot of leverage
Yeah.
because most of the ships and the technology is made there, so
Exactly.
they can like make them hostages of the technology, like of the microchips.
Which
of
is
the
what they're
industry.
doing.
Yeah.
hmm Which is what they're doing. Like
So
the
the
US
United
government
States try
tries
to get everyone together to try to combat that. Is that it?
Exactly. They're trying, and I don't think we're gonna see that new Cold War cooling off anytime soon. But still something to keep an eye on in the upcoming year, because that's shaping how we see AI, the development of AI. And when we talk about OpenAI and ChatGPT and those AI generative tools that we have now on a daily basis, we use them like normally. Dude,
Yes.
every disruptive technology we see today, you can be 100% sure that governments all around the world, but mostly the US, other governments all around, they had it firsthand. Like internet, for example.
The internet
Internet
was a military
project.
stuff. Yes.
Was a military project to decentralize information all across the US. And after the war, the Second World War was over and the Cold War was over, they used the same project to, from the universities, and it just came worldwide. And that's basically why we're doing this podcast right now. But it was a military project once. So yeah.
It has to come to the big investors, and the biggest investor we have is the government.
Is the government. Exactly. Still, it's really interesting to dive into those subjects. Moving on to July, man, we got AI social media with Sora, and that's when our old relatives are getting wild. because we were just talking about prompting, right? And Sora app, which for the time being is only available for iOS devices, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna get to Android as well pretty soon, basically allows you to create whatever you want. By the way, even using your image to create videos with very simple commands. And it's a whole new social media. It's basically if you got together VO3 and Instagram and create another thing.
Another
it is Sora app. Exactly.
Sora app.
The Sora app.
They are
And,
trying everything, right?
They are, and I think that's the reason behind, for example, the videos popping up in my social media about, I don't know, squirrels trying to assault a home, home invading an old lady with bazookas and RPGs. That's the reason behind it.
That is the kind of content that appeals to you.
It is.
Your algorithm
It
might be something, man.
Brick by brick, I built it. I'm responsible for it. But anyways, yeah, I think AI content creation, as we were talking, like we were just discussing it.
Yeah.
It's
The
getting
more
more
time
and more common.
comes, it is becoming commonplace for everyone.
Yeah. I'm eager to see what my older relatives will actually do with that.
Because now everyone
curious.
everyone can be a content
Yeah.
creator, right? If you think you're not good in acting skills, you don't know how to read a script or anything like that, now you can use an AI agent, you can use an AI video, you can use Sora, you can use VO3, and bring
Absolutely.
your ideas to life. Anyone can do this, and you
Exactly.
don't have to be an actor for that.
No limitations at all. You just
No
go
implications,
ahead, create
yes.
whatever you want. And the thing about Sora app that actually stood out for me was that you can, if you gotta get permission, if you want to, from other people, like other people's faces. But once you get permission, let's say I want to create a video from Edu, a funny video, I don't know, of him surfing in Rio de Janeiro, okay? But he's too busy to go there. If he gave me permission, I could actually take his photo and create it from scratch with Sora app. That's wild, And a lot of, because of privacy and stuff, a lot of AIs do not allow you to do that. Like to
Yeah.
be 100% precise with your face, right? They have some limitations there. So it's great to see that, but at the same time, and we're gonna get there again, man. Double-edged blade.
I saw yesterday, I was watching some Instagram reels with my wife. There's this guy that could get some technologies together, and he was able to do a tracking app that transformed your face to another person's face in real time, like full real time. Streaming. That are some people that
Whoa.
use virtual
Whoa.
avatars, like 2D avatars.
Right.
You can do something like that, but instead of 2D, uses Elon Musk face. And you believe, man, the video was scary. It looked, the man
Yeah.
clicked the button and he was Elon Musk.
He was Elon Musk.
Tony Stark.
I don't know about you.
I'm
Again,
moving lights. It was
Right.
responsive to light. It was insane.
so that's why popping up in your social media. No, I'm kidding. Dude, let me tell
New
you.
technologies.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm just kidding, because in my social media, I was gonna tell you about. There's this guy, and I really like entrepreneurship. Yeah, I mean, of course, we talk about it on a daily basis.
We talk about
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I was bound to like it, but anyways, and this guy was basically saying, "Hey, talking to a friend, you wanna get a millionaire real fast?" And then the guy was saying, "Yeah, but dude, what is it about? Like, what's the idea, right?" I mean, he was already kind of suspicious, and he basically said, "Hold up." He took a camera, he took this AI software. I don't know the name of it, because I'm not really curious about using those. You're gonna understand it a bit, but basically, he turned himself into a very beautiful, gorgeous woman, and he was doing OnlyFans, fake OnlyFans. Yeah, with AI, dude, you can do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
There's a
you'll be shocked.
profile.
I'm not-
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a profile on
You'll be
Instagram that is a
shocked.
girl that does gym content, and it's full AI. It's completely
understand?
AI. It's absurd.
Dude, that's that. I mean, and that's an example of bad usage of AI right there. A lot of people are getting scammed by girls that don't even exist. I mean, it's not a new kind of scam, because that's been around since
Catfishing
internet.
there.
Yeah,
There for a couple of years.
since the times of Orkut. Remember Orkut?
Yes.
Since that time, catfishing is a thing. Still, this is not a level. I mean, you can do video call. Back in the day, if you were kind of, doubting of someone's authenticity, you could just say, "Yeah, let's do a video call then." And,
Yeah,
it will
there
be
was
impossible
some-
to fake it.
Social construct to try to convince to not do a video content, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Nowadays, the guy can just say, "Yeah, let's go ahead." Now,
Yeah.
dude can be 7 foot tall, weigh 120 pounds, can be huge, and still he's gonna sound and look as a gorgeous woman. And you can tell because AI has reached that level. Okay. Still, as we were saying, double-edged knife.
Double-edged knife, yes.
Now we were just talking about people catfishing with AI. And moving on to August, we have misinformation as one of the biggest challenges, not for only this year or the upcoming year, but dude, I think it's going to be a constant problem with AI. I mean,
Yeah.
AI
It's
is a
the
no
other,
turning back.
the other
from.
edge, right?
The other edge, exactly.
It's always that.
And basically, according to NewsGuard, which basically tracks fake news all across the internet, right? The number of AI-enabled fake news sites increased like not 2 times, 3 times. It basically tenfold back in 2023. If that happened back in 2023 when we didn't have VO3 and Sora 2, you can figure it out by yourself, right? What we're talking about.
I want to add this. This is a personal story, because we are talking about misinformation, and
Right.
the date is like perfect because we are in August, right? August was when I found out about Grok. You know who Grok is?
Grok?
Grok
No.
is the AI of X, the one that you can talk to and try to
Oh.
see which posts are real or not. It's the Elon Musk trial to create a generative AI
Fact check?
or a chatbot that works on X directly.
All right. But it's
So-
always fact check, basically.
Yeah, it's a fact checker. Not only that, it's an AI that you can talk to, but it was
Ah.
in August, there was a big movement of people trying to talk to Grok and try to convince him of something that wasn't true. At least here in Brazil, there was
Okay.
a lot of memes, of political memes,
Okay.
that it's not the place to talk about politics, but
Sure,
the
sure.
thing is, people were trying to say someone stole something and Grok was like, no, it is misinformation. Or like, that Elon Musk was the president of the United States and it was, no, it is wrong. So I think that is a
Right.
movement of some tools to create not only tools, but things that you can do to try to know if something is fake or not. So
Right.
that is a movement against fake news, but it's gonna always be a problem for AI. But I think Grok is the best example because it's the funniest of them all. Because the content
Sure.
on Twitter of people trying to convince Grok what is real and what is not is amazing. Like there are some very
Yeah.
good memes using Grok.
And I think the core thing in that subject is to define or teach the AI to define what is opinion and what is a fact.
Yeah.
Because those things get intertwined
What are
real
the
easy.
sources? Like
Yeah. Because
for a person, it's something else. Like for the company to have the correct sources, because the company can say whatever it wants, right?
exactly.
How can you trust?
And how can you trust a big tech and like, for example, you were talking about some objective questions, right? Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
is the sky blue? Do we have gravity? Those are objective questions of yes or no. But if we're talking opinions, like let's say politics or wars, we're talking about very huge matters here. Now things get wild there because 2 people can totally disagree on a subject, and for example, how do you say a politician is bad or good? That is an opinion. That is
Yeah.
opinion based.
An opinion.
Mostly,
Yes.
right? So how can AI tell, man? It's crazy.
The AI is gonna try to get his out of the way. That's the real deal.
Okay. That's where it's go. Okay.
When it's an opinion, like as I can see, if you say like, let's say Tony Stark like fish, it is not a fact.
Fish?
This is not
Oh,
a fact.
okay,
You
okay,
don't know.
okay.
Does he like fish or not? I don't know. Do you think
I don't
he
know.
likes fish? So the AI is gonna try to come with an answer like, oh, based on the
Subjective?
appearances of the
Ah,
movies, we
okay.
don't have the information if he likes fish or not. It's gonna dance around the information, not give you a
Alright.
direct answer. That's what I'm talking
Right.
about. If it's something that it's opinion based, like the good side of a war, who is good, who is not, it's gonna try to generate an
Right.
answer around the facts, like,
Around the
oh, this happened, this happened, this happened, so I can say good or bad. I can say that those things that happen are not very well appreciated by the people, and those are more, and
But
even
still,
this
like,
can be manipulated.
exactly. I was gonna ask you, like, do you think we can, like, 100% trust what a big, because AI
That
has
is
been
no
maintained
100% on
and
the internet, come on.
exactly. No, I mean, because an AI chatbot should be like, people have this idea of AI being impartial, absolutely justified and capable of telling things like apart, like facts and opinions. But in the end of the day, it's being fed with information of some source, right? It's being taught by someone. So let's say my AI big tech really likes one politician, right?
Yes.
Well, I can give it a way to actually say good things about a politician, and that's when trust is being it's getting affected.
Yes. That's why when Google said that Gemini was the most searched term on Google this year, I was like,
yeah.
Was it?
It is bound to be, right? Yeah, and things are getting out of hand, and that's why European Union, for example, is negotiating its AI Act to basically try and organize those things around. I think that's a step further from the GDPR. That's how I see it, the AI Pact. And I think countries all around the world will have to move in this specific subject, dive in, because things are getting out of hand, in my opinion. What about you? What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think the GDPR is a good starting point. It's not the final point, and I think it's good. It's good to have some control, not only to have control like over everything, but there has to be some limits. Like you have to, especially this kind of tools for misinformation. The tool can't have a side, The big thing is they have to be impartial, right? But if you don't like force it to be impartial, they're never gonna be, because even like when it has money involved, there's always interest. You have to say good things about your company, but maybe someone in your company did something bad, but then the AI talking about your company is gonna try to hide it or not talk about it or not tell the truth about it. So there's always interest. So you have to force it, The GDPR was about emails, right? If I'm not wrong, like what you can talk about.
It was about privacy in general.
About privacy. Yes.
Emails, website traffic, everything. Navigating,
So it is important, it is good, but it shouldn't be the only thing we have to do, because we need impartiality on the web, we need impartiality on AI, because if we want the right information, we can't be partial.
And if we go even deeper in that rabbit hole, that could take us hours into it. But for example, if governments all around the world got to step into this control, how can we make sure that those AIs will actually be impartial, right? Because now we have governments, and governments, they have their own interests.
Yeah, so they are partial for themselves.
They are
always
partial.
That's why we try to have like multiple governments involved in big opinions like that. That's why we have things like the European Union and the United Nations, that is the multiple opinions of multiple places, each with individual interests and opinions for themselves, and then we try to get the most for everyone. That's when we get the impartiality, right?
Right.
And that's something that we have to have on AI also, and the privacy online also, because we can't have only rules for something that has interest, like only Google. Imagine only Google trying to say what you can or can't do online. Then a rule can be only use Google, because only Google matters, That's their interest, but it's not the truth.
Honestly, man, sometimes I get tired of big tech. Sometimes I get tired of governments. I don't know. I don't think that's a kind of endless topic, right? Everyone, like, from their edge, they're trying to monetize as much as they can with our info, naturally. And from our side, we want privacy. We want to be assured that our data won't be used improperly. But well, here's the catch: if you're using something for free, you're giving away something. You're giving away data, right? So
You're giving away data.
there's no
Yes.
free lunch. And coming out from August to September, man. Now this topic is a hot one, and I love it. I can't get tired of talking about it. Okay, if you're watching this show for a while now, okay,
We
you
already talked
most
about
likely
it.
we already
In
talked
this
about
episode.
it, but in this, yeah, but this is huge. We're talking about Black Mirror episodes coming to life, and how grief will never be lived the same way again. Now, back in June, okay, we had this feature released by Midjourney, okay, the generative AI for photos and stuff, through which you could animate your late one's photos, and that was a boom. Like everyone would talk about that for a while, okay. But then in September this year, we had Two-Way, this AI startup, it's AI company called Two-Way. I think it's Chinese. Basically creating these hollow avatars, these AI avatars of your late ones. Now, all it takes is a 3-minute video of someone you love. It could be your parents, it could be an older uncle you have, and you want to preserve his memory, his legacy, in some interactive way. Now, you just shoot a 3-minute video. You give it to the AI, to this AI, right? And it basically reproduces an AI digital avatar of your late ones. So this potentially can basically stay around for, I don't know, a limited time, for generations. Like, think about it, man.
Yeah.
Some
Is it
decade-
interactive? That's my question.
It is interactive. You can talk about everything, and we'll
So
answer you
you
with that
generate an
voice.
AI avatar of your related one, and then you feed it a real video of them, and then the avatar is gonna like mimic the person you love
Mimic.
that is now gone.
It will. Isn't that Black Mirror, man? Come on.
It is full Black Mirror. You're gonna.
It is.
Then we start. This is the part we start to question the Matrix stuff. Like, where, where is your conscience? Like, does this AI can develop like a conscience and say like, no, it is me. I'm here. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? You know, it
And
is
then
a
we're gonna have
full
a
Black Mirror
conflict.
episode. Like, is
It
the
is.
consciousness there, thinking it is someone, or can you think that the consciousness is trapped inside the computer? Like, it is too much Black Mirror, man.
bro, that, and then we're gonna have an even like deeper debate around what is soul and what is consciousness. Like, are those two things intertwined? Does one exist and the other one no? Like, it's a rabbit hole. Okay,
It is a rabbit hole.
crazy.
Because then we go
But-
into the start of the conversation. Does the soul actually exists?
Right.
Or
Right.
that conversation about the boat. I don't remember the name of the guy that had a boat, and then he started change one piece of the boat, and then he changed another, and then he fixed another. In 10 years, all the pieces are different pieces. Is this the same
Right.
boat? Like,
Right, and
this is the same question. Is this the same person? It has all the consciousness,
now-
it has all the talks, all the movement. Is this a person?
can we define it as a consciousness, or is it just an AI basically, reproducing the way you like somehow
Are
the way you
we
think?
AI?
Are we AI? Now, in the 19th century, you got this amazing French dude, René Descartes, and he would say, if you think, you exist. What is thought? How can you measure thought? How can you measure consciousness? How can you measure soul? And if our senses are getting more and more compromised because of augmented reality, because of virtual reality, how can we actually say that our senses, our physical senses, our vision, our hearing, are enough to determine it, to basically tell if we are real or not? You understand how deep that thing goes?
Yeah,
It's
it
crazy,
goes
man.
very deep. Because you can start like, if I think I exist, AI thinks now. Do they
So,
exist
yeah.
as a physical person? Like,
Right.
where are the limits? What are the rules? All the rules, because then it starts to change. Because if I think I exist, then what is? Like, if I think and I breathe, then you can create a robot with a lung and an AI that can think. And then is this a person?
And that's the question. Does AI think? or does it just reproduce patterns that were predetermined? Because we now have AI agents that are way more autonomous. But do they think, or
Yeah,
it's even
because
hard to tell.
it's harder because in the past they used the AI used to not think. Like we created LLMs and then they had a library that they always
Right.
went for, and then they reached
Right.
for answer inside the library, right? It's like a
It's a lot
search
of information.
inside Wikipedia,
Mhm.
right? But now they can generate new stuff inside the library. If you gave them a bunch of
Right.
words, they can generate sentences, they can generate facts, information, the same way we do. We go to the school, we go to college,
Right.
and then we have a lot of information, and we can come with new information based on what we know.
Absolutely.
The AI is doing the
Absolutely.
same thing. It's the same direction, the same way we used to create thoughts. They are doing in the same way.
And let me
Isn't
tell you,
it
and let me
a
ask you
thought?
something, man. Basically, going this one step further of what you were already saying. What if people, not only they want to talk to the late ones, interact with them, they want to feel them, because we need human connection, right? We are social. We are a very social species. That's the very reason why we prevail, through the centuries, throughout the centuries. But it's normal to basically miss the touch, miss the hug. What if in the future that AI avatar or consciousness
future?
can in the future, like I don't know, maybe 10 years in the future we're talking, right?
Come on,
But
let's go to
still.
Japan.
Let's go to, yeah, we can do that in Japan, by the way. You can basically get that AI avatar you have from your late one and basically transport it, insert it into an android, into a human-like robot. Because man, let me tell you, if we're seeing realistic robots, and we actually dive to that in that subject real soon. Today, you can be 110% sure they've been around for at least a decade. We were just not aware of that, but they've been around. So yeah, a crazy subject.
You know
We
what?
we could go on.
If we're talking about this realistic robots and everything, you know that in China and Japan there are already people getting married to robots and AI.
Oh come on!
You know about that?
You're kidding. You're kidding, man.
There
You're
was a
kidding.
guy
Come
that
on.
married Miku in Japan. The,
Miku, okay.
the AI version of Miku, the idol,
Is it-
that is a virtual,
Oh,
the
that-
green
that
hair, long
singer?
hair girl.
Yeah, I
You
get
know?
it. I get it. Oh boy.
That
Okay.
there
And
was
was that
there was a guy
authorized?
that married a version of Miku.
No wonder their birth rates are so low. I mean, dude,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
All respect, but dude, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a common thing in the upcoming decades.
I'm
Like-
not talking Mike. I'm not talking bad thing about the guy that married. He's
No, I know,
entitled
I know.
to do
It's just-
whatever he wants. It's just
But it's
that we are in
uncommon.
a future that we can, and that is something to think about. That we are not marrying only to other humans. Now we are marrying to AI.
Man, he can do whatever he wants, of course, but I'm entitled to think that's crazy, and I do think that's madness. I mean, still, I can get his point. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't. Right. And by the way, talking about androids, it is impossible not to move on to the next subject from October, which was and that took over all social media channels, I guess, even YouTube, Instagram, everyone was talking about this. The Tesla Optimus versus the Chinese Unitree. Now, you've seen those videos of realistic, like human-like robots. You've seen that, right?
Yes,
I'm pretty
it
sure you
was-
did.
Controversy about the robots. Like
Sure.
there were some robots from Tesla that were remote controlled. People were saying they were remote controlled. There were robots that people were saying that was like a person with a black clothing
Yeah,
over
yeah,
them
yeah,
and
yeah.
just like moving, trying to move like robots.
I think that one was or Russian or Iran, from Iran or Russia. I don't know. I think
don't know.
something like from there. Yeah. Still, Elon Musk basically said that Tesla robot will be an incredible surgeon. Okay, that's where we're heading.
Yeah.
And I don't know who will win this humanoid race, honestly, but the fact that people in the US can already buy a robot to help on like home tasks, it is already like mind-blowing in my opinion, dude.
Yeah, you know what?
Mind-blowing.
If I can buy a robot that can do my dishes, I'm all for it. I don't care. I'm buying one.
Absolutely, dude. Man, do your dishes, clean your room, your house. It's time saving.
The cats sand,
Feed the cats.
like all the cat poop around the house, they can just clean it. Man, I'm buying
Yeah.
3.
I'm not denying it as well, but there's this guy, and we're talking about a Nobel. We're talking about a Nobel winner. His name is Geoffrey Hinton, and he basically told us, like, he had advised us against AI. He was
I
one
saw
of the
video.
folks.
It was the one you
You
sent
saw the
me,
video,
right?
right? It was mind blowing. We're talking about we're not talking about this crazy folk in his basement just saying things, we're talking about a Nobel winner, right? And he was advising us about AI that it was going to way too far. We should control it. Still, I think it's a no turning back road we've taken. It's just like cars. Even Europe, okay? Europe has this plan about 2036. From 2036 on, you will not be able to buy cars that use gas. Okay. Still, we have electronic cars. It was a gradual transition. Okay.
Yes.
I think the same thing goes for AI. We came a long way from Will Smith eating spaghetti. Okay. Pig sliced spaghetti to robots that can use your dishes, that can save Eduardo a lot of time in his house cleaning. Now,
Doing surgery,
that's not mind-blowing. Perform surgery.
My question is if a robot can do surgery, there is so many variations. Like, how can it interpret the size of the person? Because when you're programming for it to do surgery, you have a standard of a person to heart surgery. Hearts have different sizes, different placements. So how does he know where to cut it, when to go, how much blood is coming out, if it's going bad or if it's going good, the surgery,
and also the infinite things that could happen during the surgery. Each body is kind of unique if you think about it. You can have a very specific microscopic problem that no one, 1 in a million cases. How will that android know? I mean, honestly, as for today, I might be wrong. Maybe my children, will approve that. I don't know. I think in that scenario, in that specific subject, I am a lot skeptical. Exactly, that's the word. I'm really skeptical about it. I would get surgery from AI.
Yes.
Honestly, today. As for
today,
maybe,
yes.
maybe, yeah.
Maybe we get more information. Maybe we get more proof that it works. I think for small surgeries, skin pimples, for example, this could be used because it's easy to track, to see where it is, and it's very superficial. If something goes wrong, no one dies. So then,
makes sense.
Then this makes sense. Then it's approved. Then I like this one. But for big internal, heart
life
surgery,
or death situations.
brain surgery, I can see it being used very, very early.
Yeah, that's one of those cases we talked about previously, in which AI will do a great job as a supportive role, a supportive role. Maybe inside tools, inside equipments. Yeah. Softwares, but not as the main guy in the room, in the surgery table.
Our CEO. Our CEO tried to do an AI to identify skin cancer. But he was like, I don't know if the AI is there yet. I don't think I can be responsible for that, and I won't be doing that anymore.
Exactly. And also, it was way too bureaucratic. The responsibility in case you were wrong, the AI, made a mistake and you didn't get a proper, treatment in time, and God forbid someone die. I mean, someone would have to be held responsible. So it's a very, very
delicate, topic.
Delicate subject. Exactly. But that, by the way, was a very interesting episode. So when this one's finished, is ended, I would definitely advise you to go there. I think it's our 12th or 11th episode.
Yeah, it's the first one that has Daniel. So our first video episode, go to our first video episode. It is there.
Exactly. And I'm gonna put a card here, so you can just click it. Okay, I'll make your life easier. We'll make your life easier.
A card right here and in the description, of course. And then going further to November, right?
Yep.
We have the biggest news of the month was the launch of GPT-5, 5.1 to be exact. So what was the main difference? At least for me, I work with ChatGPT every day. So I have first-hand impressions on the difference between what we had before and what we have now.
You noticed.
And for me,
okay,
the noticeable is the way ChatGPT responds and the quality of the response. What do I mean is, let's say you ask for, let's use again the example of coffee. I want to know about how to know when a coffee is good or not. Before answers of ChatGPT 4 and the beginning of 5, it tried to answer you like it was your best friend and talking too much and giving answers that was not relevant to the question. It gave you everything about coffee, where it was planted, and a lot of information that is not what you asked. You asked, like, is this coffee good? And it was going like, based on Arabica coffee and how it is planted and blah, blah, blah. You know?
It would go like more generalistic.
Yeah, it was very general. Even though the answers were overall about coffee and good, now it has like contextualization inside the answers. And if I ask, is this coffee good? It's gonna say, it is good based on this person's opinion. Or I can't taste coffee. But for you, it might be good if you like more bitter coffee, because it's more bitter. This one, you know? So it's more contextual, other than Arabica coffee in general is like this, like this, like this. You know? So it's more direct, and to writing scripts and to having general answers. And the other day I was like doing research about air conditioners, because I live in Rio, and Rio is very, very, very hot right now. Beep here.
Next level hot.
Beep here. It's very, very hot, and I need an air conditioner unit. And I asked,
it's a must.
Like, I wanted to know the difference between the split air conditioner that has 2 units for the air conditioner and the one that is just one big box, like the difference. But I asked, please give me the engineering answer. I want to know, how does it work? Figure like I know what I'm talking about, even though I don't know anything about engineering, but I wanted it to explain to me in a way that if I knew engineering, I would know all about thermal exchange and everything like that. Why do I want to know it this way? Because then it's gonna do a deeper research in the whys and the change of thermals and pressure in the room, pressure outside. Even though I don't know the numbers about pressure to know if this air conditioner is good, it's gonna give me a baseline calculation of how I can be scientific about my choice. You know? Not just, is this air conditioner good? So if you give a prompt like that, it's gonna give you amazing answers. Like it gave me it went after public papers about the inner workings of different models of air conditioners and comparing them, and the efficiency with the temperature you choose and the power you choose. So it was a very good answer, very detailed answer that I would not get in the GPT-4, for example. That's crazy. my experience with it.
Now, I don't know if you're aware, but all the chats you have in ChatGPT, I'm talking to the audience, okay? I'm breaking the fourth wall now. All the chats you got in ChatGPT, basically forms an image of how AI sees you. And I don't know if you've seen it. If you didn't, I highly recommend you to do that. But there's this sum up of the year that ChatGPT, that OpenAI is doing, and you can check like your most researched queries, who you are, like what kind of user you are. And a lot of people, like in percentage, I think it was about 80%, 70% of users of ChatGPT use it for personal reasons. And I'm not exception. I'm no exception to that stat. So I just tested.
Neither am I. I just said about air conditioners.
Yeah, air conditioner. Of course. So, and that's just, AI is in our daily lives. In the last episode, Edu talked about how AI was in his, how to say that? His scooter, right?
Electric scooter, yes.
That's crazy. And in
I
my
have a
case,
video I have to send to you about the
please.
BYD. The new BYD has AI integrated, and it
Okay.
is more invasive than the one I said in my
Even
scooter.
more?
Because if you like to change lanes and you doesn't give sign to enter, it doesn't allow you
Sure.
to change lanes. It blocks you from moving
boy.
the
Okay.
steering wheel.
The other direction.
Yeah, like if you don't turn on the signaling for you to change lanes,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
allow you to go.
Won't allow you to.
Blocks you from you can't
That's
like turn
that's
the
wild.
wheel.
That's wild. Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Talking about context,
absurd.
it is mind blowing how AI is getting into our daily lives to that level. Kind of
Yeah.
dangerous if you think about it, but anyways, in my usage, like which we're talking about intent and how ChatGPT 5 can understand context and intent. And when I asked ChatGPT in my personal profile, I just figured out, you know what? I'm gonna ask him an off-topic question. I basically asked like this: based on all the chats we've got here, man, because I call him as a dude, like man, which kind of trip, like weekend trip, will be perfect for me? And dude, I'm literally going to. I'm taking that trip next year. It recommended me like it said, hey, you're a calm person. You like those more comfy environments with nature. It basically read me like a book. And dude, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I'm basically taking that trip next year, man. I show you. It was a small town in I think it was Serbia here in Europe. I'm gonna talk about it with our colleague. But
Yeah,
she's
ask her
amazing.
if she knows the place, if it's actually
I'll
good,
ask her.
if ChatGPT gave you a good suggestion.
Or not? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
we need
anyway.
to know. We can trust the tool, but we have to make sure.
Oh yeah, but I did some like research on it, and it really sounded amazing. Like it was beautiful. Like green
It's starting
place.
to
this amazing
understand
green-
us. It traces our profile, what we like,
It is,
what
man.
we usually ask. Right now, with GPT-5, like I said, being better in contextualization, it's going to be able to contextualize why we like this kind of stuff, where we come from. Like it's gonna really have a deep profile on us based on the kind of research we do for work or outside work or personal lives. Yeah.
Dude, I'm definitely cutting saving some money from therapy because ChatGPT
For
also gives a lot
Yes.
a lot of good
There-
calls, advices. Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you, use it
Yeah.
a lot. But hey, moving on to December, the current month. We're
What's
talking
happening
about the
right
some
now?
of
Let's say about expectations of right now.
expectations. Now I do. There's just a lot going on in the world right now, right? By the way, we're recording this specific episode, on the 30th. Basically
Almost the last day of December.
almost the last day of December, and I found this. I came across this. Oh my god! I came across this page. It is from the Inside Forward from UK. It's a UK's website journal. Oh my god! It's a UK journal newspaper, and they're basically mapping the top 10 risks for businesses in 2026. Now, I read some of them because we want to give you who's watching actionable insights, so you can we talked about a lot of things that influenced businesses across the world this year, and a lot of them will actually continue to influence businesses throughout the upcoming year. But here are the actionable insights you're looking for. Now, I gotta tell you about this. The first one, it reads like this: techno nationalism, digital and AI sovereignty. Basically, countries are taking stronger control over digital infrastructure. I'm reading the news right now. Data and AI systems. Europe is reducing US tech dominance through regulations and local alternatives, while China and others create closed digital ecosystems. In the US, internal conflicts arise from hyperscaler growth, environmental concerns, and inconsistent regulations. For global businesses, this creates a fragmented digital landscape where accessing markets requires meeting different technical, compliance, and security standards. Things are getting really complex, man. For tech
Yes.
savvies around
That's
the world.
what
really.
we were talking about when we talked about the topic of privacy and the
Yeah.
impartiality. Like Europe is starting to see that AI and the other tools we use on the internet, when they come from the West, they tend to not be so impartial. So they are trying to
Yeah.
get their own rules inside the internet for their own tools also. That is the
Right.
techno nationalism in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah,
each
exactly.
country, each big country that can control part of the information is trying to control to protect their own from external
yeah.
sides and
And infrastructures and AI
Yeah.
infrastructure. Like each country is trying to build its own AI ecosystem,
Yes.
and it kind of makes sense to think about it because you're trying to protect your, just like the AI
national sovereignty.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable, but it can definitely create some conflicts when you think about implementing AI, or if you have let's say, an AI startup that you want to operate all around the world. You gotta keep an eye on that.
Yes.
And another risk is transactionalism and great power politics. It is impossible not to touch some politics here because the US is one of the big players in the world, China too. So let's just read the news, okay? And if you don't like it, it's on the news, not us. I'm just
Not our
kidding.
opinion.
Anyway,
It's just the news.
not our opinion, just the news.
Yeah, I think this goes very well with another topic, another risk, that is bias in generative AI. Because the big problem inside all of this, inside of all of the nationalism and the economic tension that arises from that, is that all the generative AI and all the internet and all the information we put online is biased in each country's or each source ideals, and the
Right.
news goes like this: generative AI is
Uh-huh.
transitioning, from experimental tools to essential business functions, but its output
Absolutely.
and governance often carry the biases of their creators. So Western models tend to reflect systems' ideological learns, while Chinese systems frequently reinforce state narratives, turning technology into a tool of soft power. That is the biggest talking point about the AI information, the DeepSeek, and then ChatGPT, and then Gemini, is soft power.
Absolutely.
Who gives information for what? And what we were talking about before, how do we know that the information is right about opinion, about who is the good guy, who
Right.
is the bad guy? Each tool
Right.
can have its own bias for who
And how-
is good and who is bad. The
Yeah.
best company, like I was saying, I was looking for an AC unit to buy to my house, and I was doing research.
Sure.
If it has a bias to the US market, it's never gonna give me I don't know, Mitsubishi or something from Japan or
Sure.
some from Korea or
It
a
tends to,
Chinese
yeah.
model. It can say that the Chinese models are bad, even though not necessarily.
It could, yeah. Yeah,
This is the
absolutely.
bias that we have to be aware of.
And who controls the narrative? Like who
And who
controls what
controls
is
the
bought
narrative?
and when it's bought? Yeah, that is another rabbit hole. Too.
Another rabbit hole.
Sensitive one, but definitely interesting. Bias, definitely interesting. And it's part of the reason why this Cold War is endless, in my opinion. This Cold War on AI, right, between China and US, is
Yeah,
endless.
but it's not doom and gloom,
oh.
because we can have positive out of this. Even
Absolutely.
though we have we can have biases inside AIs, we are developing each year more and more laws and what we can do inside of this and rules inside of it, and trying to remove biases. Even ChatGPT has a lot of rules to not allow you to, I don't know, create weapons or do wrong
Sure.
stuff. You can't ask like how to do bad things inside of the tool. It has rules for you to not talk
Yeah.
like this, to not answer you in these cases, or help you, guide
Security
you to
protocols,
a
right?
hospital. Yeah, protocols. Exactly.
Yeah, and they're growing. They're growing along with the capabilities, and they should. I mean,
Yes.
obviously, and also for businesses, for example, now today we can leverage not only AI generative tools, because those often take the scene, of course, because they are disruptive. They allow you, for example, a small content creator with not so many followers, to basically give your ideas life. That's amazing. That's unimaginable with a very short budget. Man, there's Flux AI, for example. Flux AI, the 1.0, and also 2. I think they're just released their 2.0 version as well. You literally can create like ridiculously good-looking pictures, realistic pictures, or cartoonized, whatever you want, for cents. Like it's a fraction of a cent. Sometimes you're gonna like 10 cents. It's 5 cents. It's crazy cheap. And you can leverage VO3, but those are like AI, generative AI tools, right? However, you can use those. You can use amazing AI tools as well to control your website traffic, to control your finances. Like AI is not limited to creative tools, right? That's another point.
That's why we have the other AI tools that are also developing. They are very good, like we talked about before in our other episodes, like Anibis. That is the tool that we use the most for outreaching or for marketing or for selling. To do most of it, can do a lot of the job of the bad part of the job of SDRs, of outreaching, of trying to sell. That is getting clients, getting the ICP, getting information, getting the right person for your product. Sometimes you have to shoot in the dark, and if you're using an AI agent like Enemies, you're not shooting in the dark anymore for everyone.
Absolutely.
You have and now specialized people for you to sell to.
And we're talking about like basically all the grunt work you would have to do as an SDR. Just forget about it and focus on closing, because at the end of the day, as good as the AI is, when you're investing some money, right, in a tool, in whatever it is, you want to see a face, you want to hear a voice, you want to talk to somebody. Now, it's not like the AI is cutting that part off, no. But tools like Anibis, for example, automate the grunt work, the boring part, as Edu was saying. And you just focus on closing the deal, wherever that is, whatever your ICP, whatever your business is.
That is the fun part, right? Like
that's the fun part, bro. Exactly.
The deal, selling, having a client that is not only a client, but like you have a relationship with someone that likes your product that you like back. Not only the grumpy person that never wanted to hear about you or your product or something like that. No, you have someone interested that you can talk to, that you can finish the deal or offer something better. Nurturing,
absolutely.
Yes. You do the fun part.
Absolutely, man. You do the fun part. And like the boring part. And you know what? On the same side, we have also Warmy. And if you need email, if you leverage emails to convert your leads, and we're talking about a huge list, bulk emailing, you gotta leverage Warmy. And one of the things I like the most in Warmy is you can use Headline AI. It is basically an onboarded AI implemented that I don't know, let's say you're in doubt of how effective your email deliverability is. You can just say across like email providers like Gmail or Outlook, you can just go to Headline and ask, hey, how is my email deliverability across those email providers? And you got a straight, direct technical answer. It's just, like this. In the blink of an eye, you got everything you need. That's another example of how AI can make your life just easier, man. Easier,
use it like a tool to facilitate your day. The Headline AI is actually an excellent example. It's like the ChatGPT for email deliverability, but better.
Exactly.
Because it's actually very, very good. You like ask anything about emails, how to send, how to make it better, how to make it. How long does it take, or anything you can ask, and you have direct answers with research, with backed up information, and it's not only just do this in Warmy or anything like that. It gives you like the real info, like how to make warm up. Not necessarily Warmy. Warmy, you can do it better, faster, and more directly. But if you want to warm up your emails, you can just do it. You have the information there.
Absolutely.
You have all the library of research that we already did. So Headline AI is actually very, very powerful.
Plus, getting all your bulk emails to the primary inbox where magic happens, where people convert. But by the way, if you want to use whether Anibis or Warmy, don't forget to check the description. We're gonna leave some links there, so you can easily see by yourself. You can book a call, for Anibis, see how it works for your business, and you can get a 7 free day trial for Warmy. So don't waste your time.
Yeah, if you send any emails, Warmy, please try it. I
There you go.
guarantee you, especially if you have a business. If you have a business and have to
Especially.
send emails for clients, for outreaching, for following up, for anything, or maybe
Absolutely.
just, news from your companies,
Absolutely, yeah.
warming up your emails is indispensable. It's fundamental and
It is.
it's very, very easy and good using
It is
Warmy.
a must. It is a must. And if you're tired of wasting your time or your small sales team time on outreaching, you gotta go for anyways, man. Just stop wasting your time and focus on closing. Okay. And I think that was a very good sum up for the year, man.
Yeah. Let's close with a small. What do you think 2026 gonna be like for the AI environment? What do you think that's gonna be the revolution of 2026? Is it gonna be the meta glasses? What is the biggest,
That's
peak of
perfect.
2026 for you?
I think 2026 is going to be a decisive year in which businesses that leverage AI will stand out, and the ones that don't, like so far, they were still in the market. I think next year will be about who actually stays, like gets a market share, gets a slice of the pie, and the ones not leveraging it will be left behind drastically. I think that's going to be a decisive year. It's going to be way more competitive because a lot of people, a lot of businesses will start leveraging AI. The ones that weren't, they will start doing that. And but I'm really optimistic because AI is evolving a lot as well. So capabilities are getting stronger. For us content creators, it's gonna be hopefully it's gonna be an easier year, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. What about you, man? What about you?
My opinion is that 2026 will be the year of implementation. As we were talking before, this year 2025 was the year of knowledge. People that didn't use AI before started using. Like we said, my grandmother started using AI.
Right.
So everybody before was like very skeptical and didn't like AI. This year, people started using AI and changed their opinions. I think 2026 will be the year of implementation because people are already aware of the existence of AI and that people are using
Makes a lot of
AI,
sense.
and most people do not dislike it for now. People are starting to warm up to, no pun intended, to AI, but I think it's the year of implementation. Most companies, most businesses, as we talked about, even cinema is going to start using AI.
Yeah.
Now it's about implementation. Is it going to be a good implementation? Is it going to be a bad implementation? Because some people are going to use AI just to use AI as a buzzword, like my company now uses AI. In what? I don't know. It just uses AI.
It won't work.
It won't work. It's like implementation. Is it good? Does it make sense? What is your product? How do you use AI in your company? Is it a smart AI? Is it a generic AI? It's
How
going to
to
be about
leverage it,
that.
because
That's my opinion
Yeah.
on 2026. Who uses AI the most efficient way, the best implementation?
Makes a lot of sense. And now it's your time. You watching the show. Like, what are your thoughts on it? What do you think? What's your angle on this? And how are you leveraging AI? Did you leverage AI this year? Let us know in the comments below. And how do you plan to leverage AI in the upcoming year? Well, from the team, I really wish you have a great year, great new year, and we'll be here with more actionable insights, more knowledge to share to help you grow your business and to spark new ideas for your life and your business. Edu, anything to add?
I just want to add that I want to keep seeing you in 2026. So please go ahead, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be here for the whole of 2026 every week, trying to get you the most of any news of everything we see about AI, about entrepreneurship and everything in between. So stay tuned, come back, subscribe, and see you in 2026.
See you in 2026. Bye bye. You heard the man. Thank you.
Bye bye.